I'm Zeen, and I lost my mom when I was 6 years old. So I remember I was sleeping in my room. I woke up and I noticed my helper was like outside in the living room. So I was just asking her like, where did my mom go? And she was saying that my mom went to work. So I didn't really assume much. So I went back to sleep. The next moment when I woke up, like the police were barging into our room. They told us to go out. Then I realized that my helper was kneeling down in the living room like handcuffed. And I couldn't really register what happened yet, but I saw my relatives waiting outside of the door. I kind of had a feeling that like something happened to my mom. I think it only like really registered when I saw it on the news with my sister. They were pulling out the body out of like the house. They said that my mom was like murdered by my helper. Only just like registered that I lost my mom. Yeah. I guess the situation was a bit complicated. So my sister went to stay with her dad because we have different dads. I remember right after my mom's death, they were trying to discuss like who's going to take me in and stuff like that. Everyone was like, oh, I can't take her in because I have my own family to take care of. I felt like kind of like a soccer ball, like being kicked around because like no one wanted to take me in. I guess the only person that I felt like in my family that really loved me was gone. I think just like very lost and like I wasn't very sure where she went to. I think I still remember like calling her number because I memorized her number. So like her number was the only number that I memorized. Yeah, and then I remember I was still trying to call her like after she was gone, and I was just like hoping that she'll answer the call. Yeah. It wasn't just about trying to move on from the loss of someone, but it also felt like I was trying to grow up quickly. Like where do you go to after, and like who do you turn to after you lose that person that means the most to you? My aunt always told me that because you lost like your family members and because you are alone now, sort of, you need to learn how to be independent. You need to learn how to grow up fast. Like you need to learn how to take care of yourself without having to rely on anybody. I just happened to chance upon the court document page. So I was thinking like, oh, maybe my mom's case would have been up there as well. That was the first time I was reading it properly. And there were so many details of the case that I didn't know about. Like no one told me about. So it was a very difficult thing to process. I read this part where my mom was like telling the helper to stop like hitting her because like she still has 2 daughters to take care of. Even at the point where like she was suffering and like she could have been caring about her own life, I guess, at that point of time. But the first thing she asked for was that she still wants to take care of us and she still wants to be there for us when we grow up. I guess I felt a lot of anger, a lot of like sadness, but mostly anger because I was like, how can the helper do that? Hearing all of that from my mom, right? Like she still went ahead and did whatever she did. I guess a bit of guilt also. I could have run out and called the police or something and it would have been just like it's like in time. But I didn't hear anything. To me, grief is very complex. At first, like I thought grief would be just sadness mainly. But I felt like when I was going through grief, there were so many different feelings. There was like anger, there was like confusion, there was the feeling of loss, but also a lot of sadness. There was just a whole myriad of like emotions that I was facing. I feel like I haven't gotten over it because when I used to talk about this incident with my friends, for some reason like I will always like laugh it off. It's still quite like a journey for me. I have a lot of negative like self-talk. Actually, I kind of always had this thought. Like it's not a very good thought. I wish I was the one that I helped her to instead and that she didn't have to go through all the pain like all the physical pain that she had to go through. Because I feel like I could take it. Yeah, I said I could take that pain away. As in, I felt like I wish I was the one that the helper took away at that point of time. Yeah, so that she didn't have to go through all the pain that she had to. When it first happened, I always felt like life is very unfair. I was very bitter, and I was very like there was a lot of unresolved like anger and like, unforgiveness towards the helper, as well as like towards God also. Because like why is it that it happened to me but not anyone else? I guess I always feel very like unloved in general. So whenever people show like affection to me and like show love to me, I always find myself in disbelief. It's still a process, I guess, for me. Yeah, just trying to learn how to be more confident in myself and to trust that like people love me for who I am. My friends were quite a big support to me. When they asked me about my family and when I explained to them, like they didn't really like judge. They were very like understanding and they really gave me a lot of support and a lot of love during the time where I needed it the most. Whenever I like go through like different challenges in life, it always feels like kind of nothing compared to losing my mom. I could find that strength and find that like resilience to get through it, processing what I feel about the whole incident and trying to come to terms that like she may be gone and like being okay with the fact that she's physically gone, but she's like I guess like mentally present with me and she's still somehow here like supporting me and watching me grow up.